As the drama in the bold and the beautiful unfolds, emotions run high and decisions become increasingly difficult for the characters involved. Among them, Ridge Forrester's internal conflict is at the forefront, with his indecision causing a ripple effect across the lives of those closest to him, especially Taylor Hayes. Ridge has always been torn between the two women in his life, Brooke Logan and Taylor Hayes. And while he's made a commitment to Taylor, the tug-of-war within his heart is far from over. The consequences of his inaction have far-reaching impacts, particularly for Taylor, who has reached a breaking point. Taylor, once so sure of her place in Ridge's life, finds herself questioning whether waiting for him is worth the emotional toll. She has always been the woman who stood by Ridge through thick and thin, but now, with Ridge unable to make up his mind about their future, Taylor realizes that she cannot keep waiting indefinitely. The patience that she had once shown seems to have worn thin, and she is left with a heartbroken decision to wait for Ridge or to finally move on and find a love that will give her the security and stability she deserves. The realization that Ridge's hesitation might cost her the future she envisioned sends Taylor into a spiral of emotions. She's tired of being the second choice, always waiting in the wings while Ridge navigates his complicated relationship with Brooke. While Taylor still loves Ridge deeply, she recognizes that she cannot continue to put her life on hold indefinitely. There's a sense of desperation in Taylor's decision to take control of her own happiness. For the first time, she decides that she deserves more than the uncertainty that has clouded her relationship with Ridge. Her heart is broken, but her resolve is stronger than ever. In an effort to move on, Taylor begins to explore the possibility of finding someone new. The idea of opening herself up to another man feels both terrifying and liberating. The prospect of filling the emptiness in her heart with a new love brings Taylor both hope and fear, but she knows deep down that it's the only way forward. No longer will she sit in the shadows of Ridge and Brooke's love story, waiting for a decision that may never come. Ridge, however, is slow to realize the full extent of what's at stake. His mind has been clouded by his own insecurities and his inability to choose between the two women he loves. But as Taylor takes steps to move on, Ridge begins to feel a shift in their dynamic that he cannot ignore. He sees Taylor for what she truly is: strong, independent, and deserving of love, and he realizes that he cannot lose her. The realization hits him like a ton of bricks. Taylor, the woman who has always been there for him, the one who has stood by him through his worst moments, is slipping away. As Ridge watches Taylor step away, he is struck by the deep sense of loss that he feels. He begins to see her not as a second choice, not as someone who will always be there no matter what, but as the woman he cannot afford to lose. The pain in his chest grows as he watches Taylor make decisions that could pull her out of his life forever. Ridge feels the weight of his indecision and the consequences it has caused. His hesitation has driven Taylor to seek solace elsewhere, and Ridge understands all too well that he may have waited too long. Ridge's decision-making process becomes even more complicated as he reflects on everything he's been through with Taylor. He realizes that, despite his history with Brooke, his heart has always belonged to Taylor in a way that no one else can replicate. The bond they share is deep and unbreakable, and he's come to understand that Taylor is the one who truly knows him, flaws and all. The emotional connection they share is undeniable, and it's something Ridge cannot take for granted any longer. The pivotal moment comes when Ridge finally confronts the truth. He cannot let Taylor go. The fear of losing her becomes overwhelming, and Ridge realizes that the time has come to act. His indecision has caused enough pain, and he cannot stand by while the woman he loves walks away from him. With newfound clarity, Ridge is determined to do whatever it takes to win Taylor back. He knows that the road ahead won't be easy, but he is willing to fight for the love he's nearly lost. In the midst of this turmoil, Taylor continues to move forward with her life, seeking new connections and a fresh start. While she still harbors feelings for Ridge, She knows that she cannot keep waiting around for someone who may never fully commit to her. The search for someone new is a bittersweet journey, but it's one that she feels compelled to take. Taylor deserves a love that will be steady, a love that will stand the test of time, and she's not willing to settle for anything less. As Ridge takes action to win Taylor back, he realizes that he may not have much time. Taylor is growing more and more distant, and the idea of losing her becomes a reality that he can no longer ignore. Ridge begins to see that his hesitation has cost him dearly, and he's determined to make things right before it's too late. His love for Taylor is unwavering, and he knows that he cannot live without her. The emotional tug-of-war between Ridge and Taylor reaches its peak in this pivotal moment, with both characters facing difficult choices about their future together. Will Ridge's decision to fight for Taylor be enough to rekindle their love, or has too much time passed for them to find their way back to each other? As the drama unfolds, the stakes continue to rise, and the fate of their relationship hangs in the balance. The emotional climax of the story is not just about Ridge's decision, but also about Taylor's willingness to take a leap of faith and trust that love can flourish again. As she begins to open her heart to new possibilities, Taylor faces her own fears and doubts. Can she really let go of the past and embrace a future with someone else, or is Ridge the only one who can truly fill the void in her heart? The tension between these two characters builds to an intense, emotional crescendo as they are forced to confront the painful truth that love cannot be taken for granted and that sometimes timing is everything. As Ridge fights for Taylor's love, he must also grapple with the reality that his past decisions have consequences. He can no longer afford to be passive or indecisive. Taylor, too, must find the strength to make a choice that will shape the rest of her life. The journey of love, trust, and redemption is never simple, and for Ridge and Taylor, the road to happiness is filled with emotional highs and lows. The outcome of their relationship hangs in the balance, and only time will tell if they can overcome the challenges that have torn them apart. The bold and the beautiful. Tensions build in the Forrester family and beyond **** as the highly anticipated episode of The Bold and the Beautiful airs on Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. The stage is set for a dramatic explosion of emotions, decisions, and secrets. Viewers can expect fireworks as Eric Forrester takes center stage, forcing his son Ridge into making an impossible choice. Meanwhile, the ever-complicated relationships surrounding Ridge, Taylor Hayes, and Brooke Logan take a dangerous turn, with unresolved feelings and unspoken promises leading to heart-wrenching moments. There's also a fashion show brewing with some serious twists, making this episode one not to miss. ### Eric Forrester's clear intentions. Eric Forrester, the patriarch of the Forrester family, has always been a man of power and influence, but his latest move has everyone on edge. His attempt to mend the rift between Ridge and Brooke is about to push Ridge into an uncomfortable situation. As the family matriarch, Eric holds an unyielding belief in love, loyalty, and the importance of family unity, and he feels it's time for his son to make a final, irrevocable choice. Ridge has already made his decision to marry Taylor Hayes, despite his deep feelings for Brooke Logan. But Eric, always the mediator, cannot sit idly by as Ridge's feelings remain tangled and unresolved. In previous encounters, Ridge has been torn between the two women, unable to let go of either of them fully. But this time, Eric is determined to intervene. Whether out of a desire to protect his son from making a choice he might regret or from his own sense of moral duty, Eric is determined to push Ridge into a confrontation. He insists that Ridge clarify his intentions once and for all, even if it means forcing him to confront the hurt he might cause Taylor in the process. Eric's intentions are clear. He wants Ridge to be with the person who will make him happiest, and he will stop at nothing to ensure that happens, even if it risks breaking someone's heart. In this episode, Eric will make sure Ridge knows that he can no longer play both sides of the fence. Ridge's inability to settle on one woman has led to constant heartbreak, confusion, and disarray, and Eric has had enough. This tough love from Eric forces Ridge into a position where he has no choice but to face the facts. And with the Forrester family legacy at stake, Eric knows that Ridge's future, both personal and professional, depends on making the right decision. Yet, despite Eric's interference, Ridge is resolute in his choice to marry Taylor, creating an emotional rift between him and his father. Ridge will make it clear that Eric's involvement in his personal life is unwelcome, but will that be enough to stop Eric from pushing him further? ##### Ridge Forrester's unwavering decision. It seems that Ridge Forrester has made up his mind. His decision to marry Taylor Hayes is final, and he is no longer willing to keep splitting his heart between her and Brooke. However, despite his resolute decision, the question remains, will Ridge ever truly get over Brooke? The recent history of Ridge and Brooke's complicated relationship has been filled with passion, heartbreak, and unresolved feelings. For years, Ridge has bounced between the two women, never quite able to choose between them. Yet now, with his impending marriage to Taylor, Ridge seems to have made a conscious choice to move forward, finally letting go of the past. But there's a problem. Brooke is still in the picture, and her presence has a hold on Ridge that he cannot easily shake. Eric's insistence on Ridge choosing once and for all, while well-intentioned, feels like a betrayal to Ridge's promises to Taylor. The sense of duty and obligation Ridge feels toward Taylor is strong, and the idea of breaking his word to her weighs heavily on him. At the same time, the pull of Brooke's long-standing presence in his life is hard to ignore. Ridge loves Taylor, but can he ever truly let go of Brooke? Ridge's decision is made, but the consequences of that decision are far from clear. How will Taylor react when she finds out that Ridge's commitment to her might still be influenced by lingering feelings for Brooke? Will she feel betrayed by his inability to fully cut ties with the past? Ridge is caught in a dilemma of his own making, and as much as he wants to believe that marrying Taylor is the right move, his heart may never be fully at peace. #### Nick Marone's bold move amidst the turmoil surrounding the Forrester family. Another drama unfolds. Nick Marone, a familiar face from Brooke's past, is making his move. Rumor has it that Nick is planning to propose to Brooke, but things are far from smooth sailing. As the repairs on his boat continue, Nick finds himself growing more impatient, needing things to move faster. His desire to settle down with Brooke is clear, and he believes now is the right time to take their relationship to the next level. However, Nick is unaware of the undercurrents of tension within the Forrester family. Eric's insistence on Ridge making a definitive choice might throw a wrench in Nick's plans. Will Eric's actions cause further complications for Nick's plans with Brooke? And how will Brooke react when faced with yet another man vying for her heart? The love triangle between Brooke, Ridge, and Nick has been a never-ending cycle of passion and pain, and this episode promises to bring more chaos into the mix. As Nick prepares to propose, the question arises, is Brooke ready for a new chapter with Nick, or is her heart still deeply tied to Ridge? The introduction of Nick's proposal adds a new layer to an already fraught situation. The drama surrounding Ridge's decision and Brooke's love life is sure to collide in a spectacular fashion. #### The fashion show, a turning point while the Forrester family drama takes center stage. A major event is unfolding in the fashion world. The fashion show has always been an iconic part of the bold and the beautiful, and this upcoming showcase is no exception. Eric, ever the mastermind, has planned a grand reveal for Brooke, one that will take her by surprise and likely leave Ridge reeling as well. Brooke is set to make a stunning appearance in a wedding dress designed by none other than Eric himself. The moment Brooke steps onto the runway, all eyes will be on her, and Ridge will be caught in a whirlwind of emotions. His love for her will be reignited in a moment of pure admiration, but the public spectacle of her in a wedding gown will also stir up a mix of guilt and anxiety. Ridge had already promised Taylor that he was committed to their marriage, but now he finds himself face to face with the reality of his feelings for Brooke once again. This moment will be a turning point, one that will leave Ridge questioning everything: his feelings for Taylor, his loyalty to his father, and the path he thought he had chosen. But it's not just Ridge who will feel the heat. Taylor, too, will be present, witnessing the powerful impact Brooke has on Ridge in that moment. Taylor will not be able to ignore the magnetic pull between Ridge and Brooke. Her heart will break as she sees the man she loves once again drawn to his ex-wife, and the reality of the situation will hit her hard. How much more can Taylor endure before she decides that Ridge's love for her isn't enough? Will she call off the wedding, or will she fight for her family? ### the deception of Leigh Finnegan and Luna Nozawa away from the Forrester family drama. There's another tangled web of lies and secrets being spun. Leigh Finnegan, who has been hiding behind a veil of mystery, is suspected of having faked Luna Nozawa's death in a desperate attempt to fix her. As the truth begins to surface, the consequences of Leigh's actions become clearer. Luna's death was never real, and now, as she begins to unravel the truth, Leigh faces the terrifying possibility that her efforts to save Luna may have only made things worse. Will Leigh be able to redeem herself, or will the truth destroy everything she has worked for? The tension surrounding Luna's return threatens to shake the foundations of the relationships in the show, as the lies unravel and trust is tested. Leigh's decisions have set off a chain reaction that could bring devastating consequences for everyone involved. The question now is whether Leigh can make amends for her deceit, or if her actions will cost her everything. ### conclusion. What's next? As the episode airs on July 30th, 2025, it's clear that the drama on The Bold and the Beautiful is far from over. The Forrester family is on the brink of destruction, with Eric's intervention, Ridge's indecision, and Brooke's conflicting feelings all coming to a head. The fashion show will be a critical moment, one that may force Ridge to confront his true desires and make a choice that will shape his future. Meanwhile, Nick's proposal to Brooke and the unraveling secrets surrounding Leigh and Luna promise to add even more layers of intrigue and suspense. As the storylines unfold, viewers can expect a roller coaster of emotions, with high stakes and life-altering decisions at every turn. Who will come out on top, and who will be left heartbroken? Only time will tell.